It was a solid performance. I certainly don't think it was a great performance by any means, but it didn't need to be. I was wildly unimpressed by the Red Bulls coming into this game. I think they got 4 wins from the last 6 games. Morgan, Luquinhas, Manuel, Barlow, all totally obsolete. Almost anonymous throughout the 90 minutes. I know Manuel didn't play the 90 and Barlow came on for him. But I like Luquinhas, I like Lewis Morgan. I think they're really good attacking players. But they didn't turn up. And you have to turn up in derby games. First and foremost, out-battle, out-compete your opponents, certainly in derby games. Yes, of course, the early goal helped, but that didn't energise Red Bulls at all. They didn't show up. They absolutely did not show up for this derby match. And they will be... Well, the fans will be unhappy, the players will be unhappy, and Struber, after guaranteeing, I should say, the win, they didn't look as though they could get anywhere near the win today, and now NYCFC are chasing down 3rd place and chasing down the Red Bulls, because they're only 1 point behind.
That's the other side of the conference coin. New York City trailing the Red Bulls by a single point, even matches played. The only difference, the Red Bulls with 1 fewer defeat, and they have an additional draw, 14, 10, and 8 following this defeat. The Red Bulls have clinched a playoff spot. Well, here we go. New York City can clinch a playoff spot if Inter Miami loses at DC United, or if Inter Miami draws DC United and Orlando City loses to Toronto. Or, and there's a couple of other ors, and I'm going to keep it at that.
Keep going.
But by the end of the evening, New York City could clinch, and it would be their 7th consecutive playoff berth. And the one thing I would say about that, Matty, is you could never take that for granted. Ask the New England Revolution. Yeah, they won the Supporters' Shield last year, and in all likelihood, they're not going to the postseason this year.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no guarantees, specifically with the parity of MLS. And look, New York City, of course, they're aiming for 3rd place. There's no way they can catch Montreal. They can't catch Philadelphia, but they can catch the Red Bulls. And Red Bulls' next game is away at Columbus, who themselves are fighting for points to stay within the playoffs. So it's great that all of these games, or the majority of the last few games of the season, are going to have huge meanings for those playoff positions and for individual teams.
New York City will close their regular season at Red Bull Arena against Orlando, and then at Atlanta United at Mercedes-Benz, which could be a match where Atlanta is fighting for a playoff spot. Decision day, it may be the most entertaining of all MLS decision days. Well, that remains to be seen. Here, New York City wins the Hudson River Derby and the season series with a sweep of the Red Bulls. Here at Yankee Stadium, it was 2-0 Collins and Rodriguez. Chris Tsakonas, our guy who hosts halftime and postgame, he's standing by. He'll have the highlights, and we will also look to see if we can go to Nick Cushing for his postgame comments, too, on the postgame presser. You're listening to City Soccer on the New York City FC Network.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present.
When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium.
When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash.
I want to be a bike that races around the country.
When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch.
I want to be a skyscraper.
I want to be
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Chris Sakonis back here with you on the New York City FC post-game report. And New York City FC sweep the Hudson River Derby with a 2-0 win over the New York Red Bulls in front of a season-high 30,151 supporters here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. And plenty to come here on the New York City FC postgame report. We'll take you through the highlights from this match. I'll take you through team stats, catch you up a little bit on what's going on around MLS later today, and we'll look to bring you interim head coach Nick Cushing live from the press conference room, so you want to stay tuned for that. But we'll kick things off with the highlights. We'll pick it up in the first half, and we're really not going to have to wait that long to get to the first highlight. Off a corner kick about 30 seconds in, Maxi Morales stepped up to the left corner flag and sent an in-swinger to the near post.
And City gets an early corner kick here as they're attacking Coronel to our left. Maxi Morales a little bit short with the corner, but the second ball follow! And who is it? It's Alexander Collins! He does it again at the back post! Inside a minute at Yankee Stadium! Wow, New York City! Maxi Morales took the corner. It was redirected near the front post area. Nick Cushing calm with arms folded as Collins heads it home at the back post, scoring in his second consecutive game. The game winner in the Campeones Cup. He points up to the supporters in the left field bleachers. Wow, Matty Lawrence.
Well, this is all about the flick on from Santi Rodriguez at the near post. Initially, I thought that's a really poor corner from Maxi Morales, but he meant to hit it short. It's hooked on over his shoulder by Santi Rodriguez right into the path of Carlins, and Poacher Carlins gets another. Who said you can't replace Sati Castellanos? We've had to replace him with the left-sided centre half.
So Alexander Collins, for the second time in as many matches, opening the scoring for New York City FC early, this time in the first minute. Remember, in the Campeones Cup, it was in the fourth minute that he got his goal. So 2 goals in as many games for Collins, and New York City FC with the lead in the first minute. We'll go to the 11th minute, where the Red Bulls tried to answer after a rebounded punch cleared from Sean Johnson. It fell to the feet of Luquinhas, and he had a good look at goal.
New York City struggling with the pressure. Tavon Gray in particular. Sean Johnson gets a left paw on it. Now the follow. Saved off the line. That was Alexander Collins coming in behind Sean Johnson. And it'll be a goal kick as Caceres fires it off the crossbar as Johnson, after just pushing it away, Tavon Gray, it started with the turnover. The young man, the 19-year-old, on the right side of the field, unable to handle the pressure, but Collins with the big play here.
So Collins getting it done on both ends of the pitch, first with the go-ahead goal, and then with a goal line clearance to preserve what was at the time a 1-goal lead. In the 23rd minute, New York City were awarded another corner kick, and Morales went near post again.
Second quarter kick from the same spot where New York City scored inside a minute. And again, they'll go to the front post first. Martinzo, unable to get a piece of it, does recover. Santi Rodriguez clips it to the back post. It's settled, the shot, and a goal! And New York City scoring again off of a corner kick. And this time it's Santi Rodriguez.
Well, this can't happen from New York Red Bulls' point of view. Santi Rodriguez controls the ball in the 6-yard box, takes a couple of touches and just slides it effortlessly past Coronel. I have no idea how you let a man have 2-3 touches in a 6-yard box like this.
Morales also had a dangerous free kick opportunity in the 28th minute, about 25 yards from goal.
From the painted D at the top of the 18 to the left of that, and about 7 or 8 yards from the elbow on the left of the 18-yard box. It's Maxi Morales, both hands on his hips, approaches, hits, and puts it over the bar.
Red Bulls finally put the ball past Sean Johnson in the 37th minute, with Elias Manuel finishing off a rebounded off the post off the initial shot from Aaron Long.
Third corner kick for the Red Bulls, curled in by John Tolkien. And it's defended well. Red Bulls back on it. Here's another ball towards the back post. Off the post, the follow! It's 2-1! Flag stays down. Elias Manuel off the rebound. It hit the right post as New York City defended the initial corner well, but on the recycle, not so good. And New York Red Bulls, they're right back in the derby. It's 2-1.
I said appeared to have beat Sean Johnson because after a VAR check, Alan Chapman went to the booth and waved off the goal as Long was offside on the initial shot. City had one more scoring chance before halftime as Gabriel Pereira collected the ball with plenty of space on the right edge of the area and got off a powerful shot.
Here's Caden Clark cutting against Maxime Chanot. Chanot does well, though, to step in front and win it. To O'Toole, to Maxi Morales, the flick to Tylus Magno. Magno dances on the ball, and now he's on his way. Angling to the middle. He had Maxi on the left, couldn't get it through. Deflected to Santi Rodriguez. Now Panetta turns and floats the ball. I think he was in between the decision to shoot or serve. Either way, it didn't work out.
Out of the halftime break, the Red Bulls pushed to get themselves back into the game, and they had their best chance to do so in the 53rd minute as Manuel was sent through on goal.
Now ball the other end through, and this is going to be a free shot, and a save though by Sean Johnson, and now over the bar by Clark on the follow as Manuel got in deep. What a beautiful little touch pass by Lewis Morgan, and Manuel was one-on-one with Sean Johnson, and Sean Johnson, well, he showed his national team stuff there as he did so well to come off his line and take it away from Manuel.
The game didn't see too many high-quality chances from either side afterwards. New York City putting the emphasis on preserving their 2-goal lead. Deep into second-half stoppage time, Morales took the ball into the box and managed a shot from close range.
Here's a turnover. Maxi Morales shoots. Big save by Coronel. Morales, he targeted the upper corner to the right.
And that was how this one came to an end. Again, if you're just joining us, New York City FC with a 2-0 win over the New York Red Bulls to sweep the Hudson River Derby, both wins in the regular season, and you could tack on the Open Cup win for good measure. Or, excuse me, actually, the Red Bulls winning that one. But in the regular season, I should say, a sweep for New York City FC. Now let's take you through the team stats from this one. 55% possession for New York City FC. 9-5, the Red Bulls actually out shooting New York City FC, but City with a 3-1 advantage in shots on goal. 71% passing accuracy for New York City FC to 55% for the Red Bulls, and a 0.7 to 0.6 advantage in expected goals for the Red Bulls, and that expected goals figure really telling you how many quality opportunities were created, particularly in the second half. Most of that coming from the first half. But that is where we stand in terms of highlights and stats. Take a look at where the Eastern Conference standings sit now. This was the first match played today in MLS, but from a playoff perspective, we already have a pretty good idea of where New York City are, as they are now 7 points clear of Orlando in the fourth place spot. So New York City looking, actually mathematically clinching a home, or probably not because Orlando City with 2 games in hand, but 7 points clear of a home playoff spot. Or New York City in the fourth spot in the Eastern Conference, 1 point shy of the New York Red Bulls. So that brings them within striking distance of the third seed, which is the highest they can get with 2 games remaining in the regular season. So for New York City, it's about trying to track down the Red Bulls with 2 matches to play, and also seeing who they're going to play towards the bottom half. Orlando City and FC Cincinnati 5th and 6th respectively with 42 points. Columbus Crew with 41 points in 7th. And then Inter Miami, Atlanta United right below the cutting line at 39 points each. And then in 10th, it's New England Revolution with 38. So the bottom half of the Eastern Conference wide open with 2 weeks to go following the international break. So that is where we stand. Looking at some of the matches coming up later, it'll be Atlanta United hosting the Philadelphia Union at 3:30. And then going over to the night slate of matches, it'll be the New England Revolution hosting CF Montreal, who sit in second in the Eastern Conference. That one getting underway at 7:30. Also kicking off at 7:30, it'll be Orlando City hosting Toronto FC. 8 o'clock kickoff, Chicago Fire playing host to Charlotte FC. Sporting Kansas City will host Minnesota United at 8:30. A 9 o'clock kickoff for Austin FC as they host Nashville, and a matchup between 2 of the newest teams in MLS. Real Salt Lake will host FC Cincinnati at 9:30, and then at 10 it'll be Pacific Northwest matchup. Vancouver Whitecaps welcoming in the Seattle Sounders, and then at 10:30 kickoff, LA Galaxy hosting the Colorado Rapids, and the San Jose Earthquakes will welcome in FC Dallas. That'll do it on my end. When we come back here, we'll send it right back to the men who called this match, Glenn Crooks and Matty Lawrence. They'll give us their final thoughts and set us up for what's coming up next. This is the New York City FC post-game report on the New York City FC Network.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present.
When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium.
When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash.
I want to be a bike that races around the country.
When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch.
I want to be a skyscraper.
I want to be a
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
I'm Glenn Crooks, Matty Lawrence here, Chris Sakonis. As the families of New York City FC on the pitch, coaches, players, administrators, support staff. It's a wonderful sight. A sun-filled Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, mid-70s, and This is why it's great to live in New Jersey and New York in this metropolitan area. This time of year,
Yep.
It's soccer season. That's part of it. But it's the nights are cool, the days are crisp, and that's right into the postseason or close to it. So we're I know it's supposed to be in the 80s all week, so we still might get some heat. But a wonderful day and a wonderful result for New York City.
Yeah, it was a perfect day for football because, as you say, it wasn't too hot, that's for sure. There wasn't a great deal of football going on, certainly not in the second half, that's for sure. I know that's a little bit flippant, but the second half was really, really poor in terms of quality. But NYCFC don't care. They didn't need to play well. I was so unimpressed with the Red Bulls because normally I like what they do. I like how they press. I like how they attack. They win the ball back high up the field and then pounce.
Which they did on occasion, but not